Lucas of Lucas and Steve, welcome back to America's Dance 30.
Yes, good to be back, man. How are you?
I'm great. It has been way too long since you've been on the show. Now, we caught up at Miami Music Week when you guys were all fresh and making us look bad. It has been 2 years since you've been on AD30. That is unacceptable.
That is absolutely unacceptable. Yeah. So really happy we have an opportunity to make it up here.
And a great time for you to be on America's Dance 30. Congratulations on End of Time going #1.
Thank you so much, man. It's insane. We're so happy with when they're doing that well. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I got to tell you, I don't know if Carrie or Juice or anybody told you, but it's frustrating to me because I think it should have went #1 a lot faster because it is such a good song.
Very I know, actually, when we released this tune, I think we were already talking to you about this song in Miami, and you were absolutely a very early adapter to this tune. So I know that you liked it from the start, but you never know what a song is going to do, and we had a very good feeling. But #1, wow, it's you cannot expect that. We're over the moon.
That's so awesome. Well, congratulations. Can't wait to talk all about the song. We're also going to be talking about your new song with Laura White, Are You Ready? And find out how that song was born too. But first, let's get to know Lucas and Steve a little better with Finky's Firsts.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Now, I know that you guys formed Lucas and Steve back in 2010, and were you a solo DJ before that?
We actually both were DJing solo before that, like playing small clubs and bars and making some music. So we had I wouldn't call it a solo career. It was more like solo bedroom studio producer.
That's too funny. But before all that, when you were growing up, was music the first thing that you wanted to get into, or was there something else you wanted to be when you grew up?
Couple of things, I've been playing the drums since I was 5. My mom, she's a professional pianist, so she told me to play the piano at a really young age. So music has always been a huge thing in my life. But also I practiced judo, the martial art. I did it also from an age of 5. And back then I wanted to be a professional at that as well. But I mean, having multiple occupations is a little difficult.
Do you still practice judo?
Sometimes I practice kung fu. Sometimes I train with Laidback Luke, for example. He's a crazy kung fu master. I'm absolutely not at his level, but I'm still into martial arts. Yeah.
Now you talk about being a bedroom DJ and producer, and not really having that much of a solo career beforehand. But do you remember the first time you DJ'd an event?
Yes, I actually do. I think I was 11 or 12, and I was playing at an event, just one of those class parties. You're at high school, first grade, and somebody throws a party, and you're like, "Hey, I'm happy to DJ." And back then, everybody else was like fighting who has to play the music. It was not like something people like to do except for me. So I guess that was my first gig. Yeah.
And then what about professionally? What was your first gig professionally?
I think professionally, I must have been, I think probably also around that age that people are, it went kind of quickly that people wanted to spend some money on booking me at one of their, I don't know, graduation events or whatever. But I think Steve and I, when we did our first shows, I think it was already in the direction of professional. I mean, we were getting paid. I think, that was it's a huge goal on itself, right? To get paid for something that you love that much. So yeah, I would call it professional-ish.
Now, when was the first time that you met Steve?
We met very early on primary school already, but I'm 2 years older than Steve is. So if you're 6, 2 years difference is a lot to somebody who's 8, right? So it took us until secondary school or high school that we, really got to meet, because we're both into music and we're both from this small town in the south of the Netherlands. called Maastricht. You probably never heard of it, but it's a small town. So if people are DJing, everybody would know. Yeah.
I have it on my bucket list to visit there. No, I'm joking.
Do it. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Go there. I invite you. If you ever go to Maastricht, let me know, and I'll give you a tour. You'll love it. I'm really sure.
That's perfect. Now, when did you guys decide to come together instead of being two solo?
I think that was we were both playing the same bars and clubs, and we're like, let's just try and make some music together, try to do some shows together. But then we were doing sets all the time, like all evening from 10 at night until I don't know, like 4, 5, 6 in the morning. So it's more fun if you're both, partying a little bit, and yeah, it was good fun.
Now, looking back to that, because I come from that era too, where DJs were playing like 6, 7, 8 hour sets. Looking back to that, now doing festivals where it's like maybe an hour, hour and a half. Is it weird doing a shorter set like that?
Yeah, it used to be very weird in the beginning. I think it felt very luxurious to start with. If if your starting point is doing sets from 6, 7 hours, and you have to worry about going to the men's room, right? I mean, and who doesn't in such a period of time? It's a huge luxury if you can, just forget about that, do your thing, play only your favorite records in an hour instead of a lot of stuff to fill it up. Yeah, you feel spoiled.
It's definitely a luxury.
It is, right?
Now, when you guys were trying to decide on an artist project name, was using your real first names as your artist project always the first choice, or did you have other names you're going to go with?
You would love to know that, wouldn't you?
Come on, dish it out.
We had the most horrible names together, but it was all stupid. I think I literally wouldn't know. It's not like that we tried them out or we were on flyers or whatever. I can reveal this. It was really that simple when we were playing solo as well. So Steve was called Steve N because his real name is Steven, and I used my initials. My DJ name was Lucas CJ. So that's.
I'm so glad you guys shortened it.
I love it. Yeah, man. Yeah. This is way better. I'm happy just to keep it as simple as possible.
Lucas and Steve just rolls off the tongue much better.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you.
Now, do you remember the first song that you produced or wrote?
I must have. I have it on a hard drive somewhere, but it's locked and sealed away.
It will never make the light of day.
It will never make the light of day. You know what we should do? This is something we did last year at ADE. We did an exclusives only set. I think the venue only fitted about 100 people, and we were playing only unreleased stuff. But we should do this with our first records, and I think that it will start crowded, but before the hour is over, everybody will be gone. It's like everybody's first records are horrible. There's nobody who creates something great from the start.
You got to start somewhere.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a process,
Now, you guys have had so many songs on the radio, including End of Time, your new number 1. Do you remember the first time hearing your song on the radio?
Yes, I do. My car broke down. I was in the car, it broke down, and then some kind of how do you say it? It was like the first aid kit on the wound, not the real wound, but yeah, you know what I mean. The mental wound of your broken car and waiting for help to arrive and everything. And our song came on the radio. It was amazing.
Wow, that makes everything better.
Totally. I didn't give anything about the car breaking down. I was like, oh, whatever, my song's on the radio, I'm fine.
That is so amazing. It's totally kismet.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Now, finally, in honor of End of Time, going number 1, it's got the lyrics, I want to hold you till the end of time. Besides your wife, What is the first thing you want to hold till the end of time?
In a little pre-chat before we were talking on air, right? I showed you my dog.
Dude, I totally get it.
I don't think I need to say more.
Absolutely not, because I would say my fur child, Tucker. Absolutely, I totally get it.
They're the best.
Absolutely. Like I said, I wish I was at home right now just so I could have Tucker with me here. Let's talk about this smash. How was End of Time born with Lawrent and Jordan Shaw?
Yeah, so it's quite incredible, and also like a lesson in making music in a sense that we've been working with Jordan like for years and years ago. We already made some tunes, never released those. Sometimes you reopen a project and then it's suddenly there, and you're like, it's interesting, but it's just not there yet. But you're still like, hey, you really enjoy the session, and you're looking back at somebody who's incredibly talented and skilled. And at some point, we got this call. I think Lawrent, he gave us a heads up, like, hey, we started something really cool. So with Jordan, I know you guys know Jordan, and we heard that first demo, and the first thing before the thing was like a full project, like the first lines and the first melodies. And we're like, wow, we need to finish this. And then we got back in the studio, like all together, and we, started finishing it up, and it became like a whole song. It became a tune. And yeah, I really felt with this one, the magic was there really, really quickly. And and that's incredible. And the lesson that we learned from that is like, even if you haven't had a hit with somebody yet, but as long as you've had that first great studio vibe, I'm really sure you can make absolutely great music that you're really proud of and really, really happy with. Just keep on grinding.
That's awesome.
So
now, how different was the final project from the demo that they started?
In essence, you always like keep the really, really good stuff, and the things that they started. These guys, their talent is really, really impressive. So we kept those things and started working around it, doing sound design. I think we switched up the tempo, a little bit. Like it were kind of thorough changes, but on the other hand, like the really strong stuff that they already did, you absolutely have to keep that in there. And we started to build. So it's quite different, but I gotta respect these guys for the work they already did. It was absolutely incredible. Great songwriters.
Yeah, you could tell the bones of it are just so good. Now, something that I love to find out is how many different V's there are of a song from when you start working on it, all the tweaking that goes on to when you finally put it out mastered. Do you remember what the final V was of End of Time?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now on my laptop. I kind of felt this one coming as soon as you started to talk about it.
I just love finding out like the process of producers.
Yeah, but sometimes it's we never end up with V2 or something. We're always making things complicated and sometimes a little too complicated. So yeah, let me see if I can find it. I can find V6 here. I see V13 at least. So and then I'm not even talking about us mixing and mastering and everything. This is just like the setting it up, getting the arrangement right, songwriting, like sound design. It's an ongoing process.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Even if you think you've nailed it and you found the right sounds, then you listen to it again, maybe in your car or a different system besides your studio, and you get inspired again, and you think you can beat what you already had, and that's how you get at least 13 versions. I think we had a little bit more in the end.
Now, how long ago did you guys start working on it?
Oh, I think it went quite quick. I think by the end of last year, and that is quite quick actually. We've had songs that we've worked on for, I don't know, at least started like years ago, and then sometimes it just takes time. It also has to do with it always has to do with timing, right? if you feel like the sound is the right sound for right now, then you just got to release it as soon as possible. And the fact that it hit #1 and America's Dance 30, I think it was the right time.
Absolutely. Congratulations on that. And then, of course, you've got your other release with Tiesto. Tell us about that smash.
Yes. So this is something we've been working on for a long time, that we've played at ADE last year. And all of a sudden, we got this message from Tiesto texting us, and this was like a super early stage of the record. He's like, guys, what is this? I gotta have it. And we're like, it's not ready to play yet. It's still, we were just teasing it. We only have one drop. It doesn't even have a break. It was like, but yeah. So we asked, do you want to work on it together? So we sent him stems, went back and forth, went to the studio together. And then, now it's finally out. Record called Zenless. Really great club tune. I see Tiesto playing it all the time right now, and we of course also have it in our sets. It's also the anthem of a very big computer game right now called Zenless Zone Zero. I think about 45 million people subscribed to the game in advance before it was released. So it's crazy numbers, and it's really hard to grasp what's all happening. But it's a huge thing.
And that's got to be a good feeling, getting a text from Tiesto saying, hey, what is this?
Yes, absolutely. We're really, we're quite close, and we're texting about all kinds of stuff and good music and going back and forth. But this went super natural. Like, it was like, wow, what's that?
Now let's talk about Are You Ready with Laura White. How was that song born?
This started, I think, around the same period, also last year. We played a version. The first version that we played was at New Year's Eve in this legendary club in Germany called Bootshaus. Not sure if you've ever heard of it. It's crazy. Like, the crowd is insane. The club's beautiful. The sound is great. It has everything. We used this tune because it was that euphoric. We used it for the countdown at 12 o'clock. And we were like, just let's test it out. And we played that instrumental. There was no vocal yet from Laura. And we got so many messages after, like, what was that song? I need to have it. When is it released? Will it be released? And, like, so many questions. So we decided to, we've worked with Laura before, and she's incredible. And I gave her a call and said, check this out. What do you think? She's like, yeah, I'm vibing to this straight away. Got a lot of ideas. And then we had this online studio session. 2 days later, she sent us the vocal stems. We made this gospel kind of choir together that worked really well for it. And really, this record is all about the good vibes. Even if you don't have vocals on it, it will still make people dance and smile and, raise their hands up in the air and just be in the moment. And that's what this one is all about. So we told with Laura, we really want to have these lyrics about it. I mean, it's simple but effective. Are you ready for the good times? And that kind of says it all. It
really is just a feel-good song, which is what we need right now. So congratulations on that release as well.
Thank you very much.
Lucas, it is always great seeing you and catching up with you. Thank you so much for your time with us on America's Dance 30.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us. Good to be back after 2 years.
Absolutely. Let's not make it that long next time.
Absolutely. Let's do that. We promise to turn up the frequency a notch and be back soon.